I've been making these cute little stitched animals and a variety of portraits that were inspired by my recent trip to the UK. But for a long time, I didn't really have a plan. I just felt compelled to make them. I had a few different ideas, but nothing really concrete. I thought perhaps I would create a gallery wall type thing with my portraits stitched onto a large piece of cloth and the little animals all clustered around the bottom as if they were visiting an art gallery. However, I have these larger pieces, and as I tell you more about my trip, I'll explain how these pieces are significant. I thought maybe I could fit those into my gallery wall as well, but I didn't really know if that was what I wanted to do. And then I thought perhaps I would make a scroll, a long scroll like the ones that I've been making recently. But the size of those pieces that I'd made really would determine how large the scroll was going to need to be. I hadn't really made any decisions, and then I saw this poster for this course that seemed to fit what I had in mind perfectly. A long, narrow narrative with all kinds of 3D dimensional stitched bits on it. So I signed up and I spent a lovely week doing all kinds of things that I don't normally do: planning and pinning and basting and ironing. Okay, well, I do normally cut, but I don't usually use fusible webbing. And by the end of the week, I had the start of something I think is quite interesting. And oh my goodness, is this not a beautiful setting? The class was held at a local art center that's not too far away from where I live. Although I love to travel and see incredible places in the world, spending time in this beautiful setting reminded me that it's important to recognize and appreciate the beautiful places that are close to our homes as well. And this is the building that my class was in, right across from the main center. And as many people who live in my town know, it's possibly haunted. During my lunch breaks, I would quite often go for walks around this sweet little museum right across the street. It is set up as a village from the 1920s. It even has its very own lovingly restored vintage carousel. When my kids were little, I spent a lot of time going around the carousel with them. And I even got some inspiration for my project. I've been thinking about creating a stained glass window, and I just really love this rather informal piece here that I came across in the village church. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll probably know that I don't really plan things very much. But this week, I decided that I was going to, as much as possible, try to follow the instructor's instructions, which started out with creating a plan for what we were going to work on. I became really inspired by the idea of portals, or creating a little portal into another place. Here's some of my plans for the piece. The white parts are just paper cutouts that I can use as pattern pieces or templates to recreate those in cloth. I devoted most of my time over the week creating a habitat for my little bunny, and I took inspiration from this exhibit that I had seen while I was in the UK. Another little portal that I created was inspired by this lovely little walk that I went on during the trip. I started out by drawing out my plan, and then that became this painting on fabric. And then it got a little bit more sparkle and a little rabbit down at the end of the tunnel. And so after I came home, I continued working on it, and the dodo in the airplane has been added. And occasionally I would get help from our newest family member, Sierra, who was added to our household while I was away. Even though I distinctly said, there better not be a new cat here when I get home. But really, isn't she beautiful? Perhaps it's not surprising that there are a few ghost cat images that have made their way into my piece. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying these videos that were inspired by my trip. I will see you again soon with another video. Bye for now.